proceed. Before we go, and because students ask questions. During the break, a student asked question. I think, well, that is good questions. That we have actor, right, and we know that if our use case, right, have some generalization, specialization, right. So should we draw the line, right? It's a line here. So here we have transaction. We said that if there's an inheritance, child depends on parents, right? So the question is, should we draw two line, right, toward the parent? I said, yes, you can do that, but no. From use case diagram, we are not going to generate code directory, right? So we're not. But the sequence diagram will, right? And this one, if you draw the line here, okay, but it's no, not necessary, right? So yeah, you draw as a child, all right? Child depends on parent. So if you draw the line with without this kind of line, the same, right? So you can draw or not draw, right? If you wanted to make it very clear, it's okay, but it's not necessary. So you only draw a line with this. We know that this depends on the parent, right? So of course, it has a relationship with this, right? When we talk about inherent conflicts, and we said that a parent has some relationship with other, right? A class, right? Talk about a class. This class, parent class, has some association with other, then the child also, will take it over. So it's the same, right? You have the relationship with child, and is this child use case, as a parent, so you draw this or not draw the same, right? It only shows the relationship. So here. It's about the message, all right? Message. So we have a couple kinds of message, all right? So different kinds of message means different thing, right? So we can send any message, right, from client to server, or server, not a real server, right? Because requester, right, we call this is a client. Send a message to the server, that is the receiver, all right? So we send it and someone receives it and got to perform it. So there are different kinds of message, all right? So Tom, what is the default message? We have different kinds of message. while. Do you prepare?
我听不太懂英文。
That means you know nothing. You know nothing. I teach, you know nothing. To be a college student, you know nothing about English. That could be possible. You know nothing. That's terrible. You know nothing, or you do you prepare? 你准备了没？完全听不懂吗？你都听不懂。当然我讲你啊，完全听不懂吗？那你怎么可能成为一个大学生呢？你怎么过来到今天呢 ？The course, no. 你英文课怎么上？其他的课怎么上？这不是理由。No, you cannot say that. All right, I don't accept this. That is, you got to know something, not nothing, right? So it could be very sad to sit here and know nothing. It could be very sad, right? So no, that's. 你去客服了没？去过一次，为什么？他们讲英文吗？客服用英文说吗？那你为什么不去呢？客服用英文吗？那你为什么不去呢？你这就很麻烦了。如果你又听不懂又不去客服，你放弃你自己了。为什么要这样子呢 ？This is your responsibility. You to say that I can get anything. No, no, it is not a reason. No, you can. It's not an excuse. No. You wanted to give up yourself. That could be very sad. No. Darling, what would be the first, the D4 message, the kinds of message? What would be the D4?
It is sending transmessenger 同步讯息。
I said D4. What is the D4?
D4 is
synchronous. Is it synchronous? Would be the D4.
Because it is a stable to a stable. 它是有顺序的，就是它要等它回应完之后才能继续往下走，所以预设的话，我认为它是同步的，非同步。
You know synchronous, but this is not a D4. No, right. Okay, right.
It's simple message.
Simple message. Okay, simple message is the D4. So we presume that everything, the D4 will be simple, right? So what do you think about a simple message will be have a return? What do you think?
I think it's not.
Not have a return.
Mm.
Not to have a return. So simple message will not have a return. And what kinds of message will have a return?
Procedure call.
What is a procedure call?
It will send a message and it also have recall.
Also have a recall, return, recall.
Return.
So only in procedure call has a return.
Not only it.
Not only procedure call has a return. And what else? Ethan. Right. So what do you think about return? Return is also a kind of message.
Yes.
So what do we need to have a return?
When we use procedure call,
Use procedure code.
it's
What?
And it's a result from procedure call.
Results of procedure call.
Right.
So procedure call has a return. What else? What else you can think to have a return? So it means procedure and what else?
Maybe simple or
Can be what?
can be simple.
Simple.
Yeah, just for simple and procedure call, I think.
So only these two
Yes.
may have return.
Yes.
Why?
Um, why? Oh, if they have a result, if they need to have a result, it might have a return.
So only simple and
No. All of the
okay.
has a return.
All right. So all of the message, right, may have return. Not only procedure.
Not just only for procedure.
Okay. So simple anything, could have return.
Yes.
All right. Do we need to draw each return? So you said everything need to have a return. Usually, do we need to draw that?
No.
No.
Yeah. If it's not that necessary, you don't
Okay.
have to draw it.
Okay. Good. So we have most of the huts need to have a return, but we don't need to draw it, right? Otherwise, like that, you draw a lot of line, right? You can draw, but not necessary, right? Not necessary to draw. But if you wanted to draw return, everything that returns, it's okay, right? That you have association, fine, but it makes the diagram very complex. So you can take out unnecessary, return. If you know you gotta have a return, you don't need to draw it, right? Because it should have a return. But with something that return is particular, that's quite different. Probably this returns, we need to combine a lot of message like that, or different parameter make it so different. And this return will be different than we draw it, all right? Or you can draw everything, you gotta return. Doesn't mean that you draw a lot of return, that means wrong. But it's just not necessarily draw, that make it very complex, right? So we have return, right? But we can omit it unless it is something different, right? And the simple message is the D4, right? D4, a simple message. That will be different from procedure call, all right? So what is the procedure call, Nerissa? Procedure call.
Procedure call must have a return.
Then what is a procedure call?
It's standard process.
A set of process?
Yeah.
And what do we put as a procedure? Procedure call. examples about a procedure call. So anyone wanted to give me an example of procedure call? Okay, Leo is next to Hank. Leo. Leo, you. Next to Hank. Okay. Answer. Procedure call. What is a procedure call? What is a simple, simple message? That should be different. Jack, okay, what is a procedure call? What is a simple message? You want to answer, Harry? Right.
The example of the procedure call. Example.
Yeah,
Or-
simple message and procedure call.
Example procedure call is the like add. Is the one numbers and one numbers. It must have the results, and you return the result to. You have to return the results.
So add is a procedure call.
Yeah.
And what is simple?
Simple is like a default value for message.
Like what?
It's more like example. It's more like email.
Email.
Email. Yeah, send email or the email. Email sent.
What about you think? What do you think about procedure call and simple message? Okay, Pumpkin?
Procedure call is send message for 接收讯息的那个人 and he will start the activity and 等那个接收者回传他的那个回传他的那个讯息之后，那他才会继续执行下去，这是 procedure call。
Synchronous. No,
For
procedure.
example, ATM ask customer information, and customer 输入那个密码，然后给那个 ATM，然后 simple message 就是 ATM 在传讯息给那个 system， 这是 procedure call and simple message。
Chorus means that IDM sends the message to your
And
bank.
procedure call is ATM
ATM.
ask
What's
customer.
a procedure call? Why? What's a procedure call? Ask for the password.
Yeah,
Then it's a procedure call.
ask her password and it will stop the activity. Wait,
Until user
Yeah,
enter that.
yeah,
So- Then send to the bank's central processing like that. And that's a procedure call.
就是他会先那个就是等消费者啊，
until
哎、
until
对
you
对
get the message and send
Yeah,
it
yeah.
for the further processing. That means procedure call.
yeah, yeah.
No, not that. Okay, Paul.
For example, a patron buy something, we need to the clerk will we need to refund some money, and we need to wait the patron pay the money, and we just 我们才可以找钱，就要等那个过程结束，我们才能找钱。
So it means that if it is charge will be 100,
Yeah.
or and the customer give you 500,
Yeah, yeah.
then it's going to tap the 400 back.
Mm.
So that's a procedure.
呃
So for something,
就我们需要等到那个过程结束，那个才能执行下一个阶段。那个 procedure code 就是我付钱，
okay, and tell me the method. So what would be the method of the procedure call? Yeah, you said that's a method.
method，
Charge? So it's a charge or whatever. Okay, what do you think of procedure call? Give us an example. So what do you think? Mm-hmm. Example? So what would be the method of that? Hmm? Calculator, dance. What would be the method? There's a method. Yeah, the method name of the procedure. If I say that we wanted to calculate the area or calculate the price, that's right. So calculate the method. And we show, that you need to input. So it's that, or the money, right? Or you wanted to withdraw the money, that. So it's because you got the inputs and you have a return. So it's a procedural call. Until next step. So until the requester fulfill the request, like you need to insert or something, insert your card, or give the money, and it's going to get the balance back, like that. So what's inside the method? So you think that's a procedure call? No, it's not. Then what do you think about procedure call? Okay. Cannot make a change. What do you mean we cannot make a change? Why do we need to follow this step? No, you cannot answer that. So why do we need to have this step? You said we cannot change that. Why? You said we cannot change that. Why? Why do you want it to say that's a final, not change? Why? Even make it, unchangeable. It's easy to reuse. you think? That a procedure call and a simple message? Some student said that we got wait, right, until the requester, right? So we have a requester, right? You wanted to buy something, or the client wanted to buy something that's and the price. So wanted to calculate the price. That means that if a customer pay and they pay, then to get a return. It means that give the money back if we have balance, right? So it is a procedure call. That is one kind of answer, and the other thing is wait until the client fulfill its responsibility, and then we process that and get back. It says that is a procedure call, so it's related to return. And the other answer is probably not. It means we have a lot of step, right? A method. So I ask you, method. This method consists of a couple of steps. Each step, right, could be a method. So you gotta wait until all the method finish the function activity, and then of course we have returns the debts, and we don't want other to change debts. So it will be a procedure call. So what do you think about that? Procedure. From this procedure, the meaning of procedure, that means, you can see the symbol, that will be different. A very simple message, right? Like, for example, wanted to calculate, or it says addition, add, right? Add. Wanted to add something, add. 2 number or 3 number, whatever, depends on how you design. The 2 number, right, parameter inputs the first, and the second we add it, right? Harry, so your answer is that. This is not a procedure, right? It's quite simple, right? Calculate something, we add whatever the parameter, right? How many parameter? It's a simple one. Right? Just calculates. Or calculate area, you have height and width, right? Calculate area is a simple message, right? With return or not return, right? If usually you have return, right? Unless you wanted to set something, you don't have return, right? You get a name, get something, right? You get return. No, that is not a procedure call, right? You wanted to have refund or calculate something, and that's just another procedure. It's a simple, right? Procedure means a series of steps, right? Series of steps. Then we bind it, right? So whenever you wanted to process this method, then go through all the steps. The step, each step, it could be a method, or probably not a method, but default. So you wanted to print something like that, right? And that would be a procedure. Give a minute. Here. Now we have a method named complex course, right? So it is a compound compound method. Inside here, we have 3 methods. Alright. You may have other step like whenever print math, we do something, probably that's alright. So here, it's only method. So complete math. If you want to complete course, you need to do the 3 method. We bind it all together, alright? So complete math is going to do something, and then go to the next sub-scale and complete special paper that's. You should do all the thing, then finish complete course. So it is a procedure core. Alright, so this is a procedure core. And here you can see that if we put it as a final, alright, and that means that you cannot change. The reason for that, because we think complete course need to follow this. It could be more complex. It is very efficient. Very efficient. So whenever you do that, it's already, design everything. So just complete course and do everything that's. So it is not easy to be reused. Because if you wanted to change, then no, you cannot. Right. It's very efficient, but not easy to be reused. On the other hand, if just follow this, no, you don't need to change that. Right. So it is a procedure code. Procedure code is symbol, the thicker one, right? Not a lighter one. So procedure code. It's a procedure code. Okay. So it could be make it very complex. Usually you don't want others usually. So there's a reason that it's like a recipe, right? It's a recipe that's I think that's the best one. So just to take it to use. So some of the commercial product is all packaged. You cannot change that, right? So that's the same concept. So use or not, right? But you cannot change that. So cannot change the internal structure. It's a procedure. Okay, so now we know simple, procedure, core, and return. All right, and synchronous, asynchronous. Part of that you talk about, you gotta wait, right? Wait. So the sender, right? Requester send a message to receiver, right? Need to wait, right? Wait until the receiver got it. Probably give you, I got it, and you know that if you do, you do next. So send a request, receive uncompleteness message or whatever returns. You do the next. Right. So you gotta wait. So synchronous, right? And crit. Feel sleepy? Do you understand? Can you follow? No. Vincent, what is asynchronous? Asynchronous. To follow. Brian, what is asynchronous? Asynchronous.
Synchronous is you have to wait for the return, and asynchronous is you don't have to wait for a return.
Okay, no matter whatever I send it, I can do that as, asynchronous. So I don't care about the previous message, the completion of the previous message, right? I can do it at the same time. So I send it simultaneously probably, right? It means that. I send requests, a couple of requests simultaneously. Okay, so asynchronous, I send multiple message, right? So I can send that at the same time. So here, probably at the same time, right, or whatever. You send this, you don't need to wait, until you receive the message and then you do the next. So synchronous, you can do that, right? I do whatever, right? It's asynchronous. And what is barking? Audrey? Barking.
It is usually used for security purpose.
Security. Why? What's that?
Because the client want to send a confidential message to supplier. If the supplier didn't get the message immediate, the message can be abandoned.
Good. Very good. All right. So usually for security consideration, right, if we send something confidential, right, it's a classified message. We send it out, and got to reply immediately. Otherwise, probably the message will be intercepted. All right. So here, if we don't have instant message that's I got it, that's then abandon it or destroy it, right? So it's for security consideration. And Audrey, what about the other meanings of the barking?
Can you say again?
In addition to you mentioned, right? Is that for security consideration, right? And what other meanings of barking?
Time out.
Huh?
Time out.
No. We have a time out, right? And here, barking, I said barking, not other kinds of message. I said barking, different meaning, different application. So, yeah, you said that it is a very confidential, right? Barking, and what else? Anyone wanting to answer this? Anyone wanting to answer this? What else? Raise your hand if you want to know that. Okay, Rio.
For example, I want to connect some web, and I require I want to connect a web, but the web server may be crashed. That can receive my connect required. So what do you mean? So that with give me a error that because the server cannot accept my message.
Cannot accept. So something error.
Yes, that's an error. So the web server cannot receive my message. So I abandon my message.
You abandon, or the system abandon.
Oh, maybe.
If you send something wrong, then you abandon that.
Yes.
You abandon that. You send something wrong and you abandon that, then you cancel that. Cancel what you have done. Abandon that. You cancel that.
I cancel my message.
If you cancel your message, it's not blocking. You cancel that, right?
Yes, cancel.
There is not blocking. So, good answer, Harry.
For example, today I have a printer,
Yeah.
and today if the printer is on busy, and yeah, it's busy, but today I have a request to print, but it is busy, so it will cancel this request.
You will cancel that. It will not cancel that, right?
Right. It,
You're pending there, or put it on the waiting list until, right? Is it busy? So put it on pending, until. And
yes,
finish,
until I'm busy.
until, right? So it's
Yes.
not busy, they can.
Yes, and it will print.
This is not that is not blocking.
Oh, okay.
Richard?
If the receiver and if the receiver cannot handle the message immediately, then if I am the sender, I will just send to the system a message, and my thought would be, oh, I will give it a try, and if the system cannot answer, yeah,
Like Harry said, it's busy.
yeah, if it is busy, that cannot answer, and that's fine, and I would just stop. But if it is confidential, and I send a message to the system, and if the system, it will not abandon like blocking. It will return a caution or error to the sender. Yeah, that is the difference between the blocking and the confidential.
Okay, so when we talk about blocking, that one is that it's a confidential. If the receiver cannot reply immediately, right? It's abandon that, right? Abandon that. The sender, right? The sender abandon that. It's confidential, and the second one, the bridger said, we send a message, right? But the sender give you something, I'm busy, or it's not correct, right? It says a message means that it's just not correct. So it send you from the server, right? Server send you that it's not correct, all right? So the first one is no requester, right? Request sender, right? Requester abandon that. And the second one, the server, right? The server receiver that give you the message, right? Yeah, that is quite right, right? So the receiver give you a message, right? So that, yeah, give you message. Usually, sometimes give you message, tell you it's wrong, right? It's wrong. So can you think of any situation that will happen? The machine that give you some message. What does that mean? Give you some message. So think of an example. Anyone can think of an example that the board can send from machine or the receiver. Think of that. No, then I'm going to ask you. Right. Give us an example.